I'm going to ask another brother who works every day with the injustice and craziness that happens at Canada Post. I can't stress that enough. Mike Moeller is the Atlantic Regional Vice President for the Union of Post Communications Employees, and he's in the process of trying to fight back against the closures that we just recently heard announced. So, Mike.
Go, brother Mike!
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I'm Mike Moeller from the Union of Postal Communication Employees. I represent the members all across the Atlantic region. The previous speakers have spoken about the cuts that Canada Post has just announced on March 30th to the contact centers right across the country, but they've also included the National Philatelic Centre in Antigonish, which employs about 65 people. It has about 20 term employees who will be losing their jobs in the first quarter of 2011. After that, they'll be phasing the National Philatelic Centre, which is an institution. It's no different than a national museum. It's no different than the Canadian Mint. But the Canada Post came out on April 27th and announced that they just made $281 million in profit.
Green!
And one of their quotes was that they couldn't have done it without their employees. Well, I guess they're going to do it without their employees. That's their intent. They're trying to get rid of the employees. And these jobs are going to private sector employers, and Canada Post is convinced that these jobs can be performed just as well by a private sector. They cannot. These are professional people that work in these jobs. They're decent paying jobs, and once they leave the community, they're not coming back. And the communities better stand up. And it's not just us around here on a May Day, and it's not just us when we get upset when it affects us personally. The mayors of cities, the wardens of counties have to get involved. And the politicians, I heard someone speak about Peter MacKay. I've sent at least 3 to 4 messages to Mr. MacKay, and his response was exactly that, April 7th in the Chronicle Herald. There's nothing he can do for a Crown corporation. But he didn't say it. It was his spokesperson, and I don't remember his spokesperson, Dan Duga, being on the ballot.
Woohoo! You're right!
So I think it's really important that people support every public sector employee. These are decent paying jobs, and once they hit the rural communities and the cities, these are not coming back. They're going into private sector jobs, and they're not going to be paid well. The benefits are also going to be taken away. Pharmacies are going to be hurt. Dentists are going to be hurt. Chiropractors. People just don't think of those things. And for Canada Post to come out and say that we're doing it as a cost-cutting measure is not correct. They've had 15 consecutive years of profit. And this is not a bailout we're asking for. We're asking to keep our jobs. That's all we're asking. And the last thing I'd like to end on is that this is the beginning of privatization of Canada Post. And once you see the privatization of Canada Post, it's going to spread across the country, and the people that do buy Canada Post are going to cherry pick within the cities. And people may say, well, that won't affect me. Well, it will affect you if you live even outside of a city, because the only mail that's going to be delivered is going to be profitable mail, and that's it. So I ask for all of us to stay together and support one another, and I thank you all for coming out today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.